Now that is the most flavorful part of the chicken in my opinion. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Outdoors with Geoff. Before we light the coals for today's cook, take a minute and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified of any new content that comes to the channel. What's up barbecue crew? Welcome back to Outdoors with Geoff. Today we're going to be cooking some chicken thighs on the Char-Griller Gravity fed 980. Now, as far as our seasoning, we're going to get these seasoned up with some Mississippi grind from Barbecue Swine Life. We're going to let these roll in some smoke at 325 degrees until we reach an internal of 185 degrees. Afterward, we're going to glaze these thighs with Capital City Mumbo sauce, and this is the hot and sweet version. Now, if you're not familiar with Mumbo sauce, or as it's pronounced in the DC and Virginia area, Mumbo sauce, it's a sauce that got really popular with the takeout restaurants. When you order some wings, you usually get a side of mumbo sauce with it, and it's got a unique flavor to it. It's usually a ketchup-based sauce that has some extra flavors added to it. This one in particular is really great. It's got some spicy notes to it, and it's got a little bit almost like a sweet and sour, but it's really hard to describe until you try it. And once you try it, you're gonna be hooked to it. I've had some of this stuff some years ago, and anytime I can get back up in that area, it's great to get some. So enough talking, let's get to the cook. So I started by rinsing and doing a light trim on my chicken thighs. This by no means is a competition trim or anything. This is just good at home eating. And you can see I'm coming back with a good layer of the Mississippi grind, and be sure to get both sides well. It also helps if you let the chicken sit out on a rack and come up to room temperature and dab it dry with a paper towel, because that's going to aid in the process of getting your skin nice and tight to get good clean bite through skin. Now that these thighs are all seasoned up, we're going to let them rest for about 20 minutes. For today's cook, we're going to be using B&B Oak Briquettes, and we're also going to be using post oak wood chunks in the gravity fed 980 today. We're going to be cooking at 325 degrees, and we're cooking at a little bit higher than normal temperature just to make sure we get that skin nice and right for a good clean bite through. And this is what we look like after a proper rest. The char grill is up to temp, so it's time to go and get these chicken thighs on. That rest is really going to help us impart some good flavor from that Mississippi grind. For the first portion of this cook, we're going to let it run for 30 minutes. And you can see that Mississippi grind is getting some good color, and we're starting to get a little bit of tightening up on the skin. For flavor and color, today I'm going to be spritzing with some Parkay spray. And these things are rolling along pretty evenly, so we're going to give them another half hour and take another look. And you can see we're really getting some good color and a little bit of pullback on some of that skin. And we're going to come back with a little bit more Parkay spray. And when we temp these, we were in the 170 range, so we don't need that much more time. And after another 15 minutes, you can see we're sitting right at about 188, 189 degrees. So it's time to go ahead and get these bad boys off. The Mississippi grind, post oak, and butter all came together to give us some great color here. And now it's time for the show. It's time to get a good glaze on and coat these with some Mumbo sauce and get a nice even coat on both sides. This one has a little bit more of a heat kick to it, but they do make a mild version and it's really good as well. But I do prefer this one that has a little bit more heat. Now that these are coated, we're going to get them back on the smoker for another 15 minutes and we'll be finished up. And this is what we look like after the tack up and a 10-minute rest. Alright guys, well these chicken thighs are done, and I'll tell you what, they smell great. I'm ready to go ahead and dig in. But first let's recap. We started with chicken thighs and I trimmed them up just a little bit, and we seasoned them with Mississippi grind from Swine Life, let them rest, and then we put them on the Char-Griller Gravity 980 at 325 degrees, let them smoke. It had some good post oak in there, and they went for 30 minutes. We stopped and we sprayed with a little bit of butter on the skin, let it run for another 30 minutes, add a little bit more butter, and then we cooked until we got to an internal temperature of 185 degrees. Then we pulled them off, and then we glazed them with Capital City Mumbo sauce, and we put them back on the smoker for an additional 15 minutes to tack up. And after that, we pulled them off. And the only thing left to do at this point is go ahead and get a good taste test. It's really good. You can taste all the savory notes from the Swine Life. Get a little bit of salty, but you also get that good barbecue flavor in there. And then you also have the sweet and the heat from the Mumbo sauce. And you can even taste a little bit of that ketchup, which actually has a good mix in here as well. But the flavors just blended together well, and you got that good flavor from that post oak as well. So it's turned out really great. I'm gonna definitely keep this mix right here in the repertoire for next time. But let me know what you thought of the cook. Leave a comment below. All right guys, thanks for watching this episode of Outdoors with Geoff. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications when more content comes out. And also check out these videos here on the channel as well.